Okay, so like everyone's probably noticed, right? Same-day delivery, it's like everywhere now, especially here in Massachusetts. It's exploding.
It really is.
We're going deep on this today. We've got this awesome guide to help us navigate all the courier services out there. Plus, we've got some insider info from a big Massachusetts provider, Bocsit.
Sounds good.
So, first things first, why is this whole same-day delivery thing such a big deal? I mean, what's driving this crazy boom?
Well, it's not just some passing trend. There is actually some pretty powerful stuff pushing this whole thing forward.
Like what?
Obviously, e-commerce is huge, right? But it goes deeper than that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're all used to ordering stuff online and it just like magically shows up a couple days later. This guide, it's talking about how same-day delivery is getting super important for things like medical supplies, legal documents, things like that, where time is like really, really important.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it from a business perspective. That kind of speed, that can make or break you in terms of keeping customers happy.
Totally. Miss a deadline because the delivery is slow? Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all.
No.
So before we even start talking about specific companies,
Yeah.
this guide says we need to like hit pause for a second.
Oh.
Yeah. And think about what we actually need from a delivery service.
Yeah.
What works for us.
Makes sense. It's like planning a trip. You wouldn't book a flight without knowing where you're going, right?
Exactly. So this guide, it asks some really smart questions like, okay, what size packages are you usually sending? How fast does this stuff really need to get there? Are there any like special things you got to consider? Like, is it fragile? Does it need to be kept at a certain temperature? Things like that.
Yeah. Thinking about that ahead of time can save you a lot of headaches later on.
Big time. Like imagine you get a signed contract across town,
Yeah.
like right now, before the day ends, boom. That's when same-day delivery becomes your best friend.
Definitely.
Okay, so you figured out what you need. How do you actually find the right company to do it?
Well, the guide gives us like a little checklist to go through. First thing, and this seems obvious, but people forget it all the time. So got to check the courier's coverage area. Do they actually go where you need them to go?
Right. And then you got to look at their delivery options. Do they only do same day or do they also have next day? Scheduled deliveries, that kind of thing.
And nowadays, you got to factor in technology. Do they have GPS tracking? Because knowing exactly where your package is, that can be a huge relief.
Oh, for sure. Okay, now let's talk money. Because let's be real, pricing is a big deal. The guide goes through all these different pricing models, flat rates, charges per mile, volume discounts. It can get kind of confusing.
Yeah, it can. My best advice, shop around, get quotes from a bunch of different companies. Don't just go with the first one you see.
Exactly, like you would with any other big purchase, right? Do your research.
Exactly.
And speaking of research, the guide was really big on checking online reviews, like Google Maps, Yelp, all that.
Yeah, those reviews can give you a good sense of what to expect. And don't forget about good old-fashioned word of mouth. Ask people you trust if they have any recommendations.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, wait, so let's zoom in on Massachusetts specifically. The guide mentioned this company called Bocsit. Their website says they cover tons of cities all over the state. And they specialize in same-day rush delivery, and they work with medical and legal clients too. So they're definitely hitting those urgent needs we were talking about before.
That's interesting. The fact that they focus on specific industries like that, it just shows you how important it can be to find a courier who really gets what you need.
You're right. It's not just about getting a package from point A to point B anymore. It's about finding someone who understands the nuances of your specific situation.
Exactly. Especially if you've got something like super time sensitive, like a legal document or a medical delivery, you want someone who knows the ropes.
Makes sense. Okay, so let's get real practical here. How do we save some money with all this? Because same-day delivery can get pricey, right?
It can, yeah. But the guide actually had some pretty good tips on how to, make the most of it without going broke.
Oh, good. Lay 'em on us.
Well, they really stress comparing quotes, which we already talked about that a little, but it's worth repeating. Don't just grab the first price you see.
Yeah, good point.
Get a few different quotes, see what's included, what's not included.
Right. And they mentioned all these hidden fees that can pop up, like fuel surcharges.
Right.
Or if you need something delivered after hours.
Oh, yeah. Those can add up fast.
Totally. So what else? Any other money-saving tips?
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Consolidating shipments? That's a big one.
Consolidating. What do you mean?
Like, say you've got a bunch of stuff going to the same place. Instead of sending a bunch of separate deliveries, try to bundle them all together into one.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like bulk shipping,
Yeah.
but for same-day stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It can be way more efficient and cost effective, especially if the courier company is using, smart route optimization technology.
Ooh, yeah, the guide mentioned that. So basically, they're using tech to plan the best routes, so they're saving time and money. And that savings can get passed on to the customer, hopefully.
Hopefully. It's a win-win. Speaking of challenges, though, the guide brought up a pretty big one for same-day delivery, especially here in Massachusetts.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Traffic.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's like the never-ending saga of Massachusetts, right?
Pretty much. Especially in the cities like Boston.
Yeah.
All that congestion can make it really tough for couriers to meet those tight deadlines.
Oh, yeah, I've totally been there, waiting for a delivery that's like stuck in traffic somewhere. It's the worst. But it is what it is, right? It's part of life in Massachusetts.
Yep. It's just something you got to factor in. That's why, choosing a courier who really knows the area can make a big difference. Someone like Bocsit, they've been operating in Massachusetts for a while, so they know the roads inside and out.
So they're not just like blindly following a GPS.
Exactly. They know the traffic patterns, the shortcuts, all that stuff. They have like a home field advantage.
That's going to be super reassuring for customers who need things delivered fast and, reliably. Okay, so you talked about speed, efficiency, all that good stuff. But what about sustainability? I mean, same-day delivery has gotten some flack for, its impact on the environment.
Yeah, for sure. It's a valid concern. And the guide actually talked about some of the ways the courier industry is trying to become more eco-friendly.
Oh, interesting. So what can people do? Like both businesses and regular consumers. What can we do to be more, sustainable with our same-day deliveries?
Well, one thing you can do is look for companies that are using electric or hybrid vehicles.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you can ask about their route optimization. Like, are they planning their routes to use less fuel?
Oh, yeah, good question.
And some companies participate in carbon offset programs, so that's something else to consider.
Gotcha. So there are things we can do, even with same-day delivery. We can still make choices that are better for the environment.
Exactly. It all comes down to being an informed consumer and supporting the companies that are, doing things the right way.
Totally. So we've covered a lot of ground today. We started with, why same-day delivery is so huge right now, especially here in Massachusetts. Then we got into the nitty-gritty of figuring out what you need from a courier, how to find the right one, and even how to save some money along the way. And of course, we had to touch on sustainability too.
Yeah, it's a pretty complex topic, but hopefully we've given our listeners some good food for thought.
I think so. But you know what? This whole world of same-day delivery, it's constantly changing. Like new technology popping up all the time. Consumer expectations are shifting. It's crazy. What are you most excited about in terms of the future of this whole thing? Like what new trends are you keeping an eye on?
Oh, there's so much cool stuff happening. Drones are a big one, obviously.
Yeah, drone deliveries. I mean, that still feels kind of futuristic, right?
It does, but it's getting closer all the time. And then there's the whole autonomous vehicle thing, like self-driving cars and trucks.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a game changer for sure. But it makes you think, beyond just the delivery itself, like what other industries are going to be like totally transformed by this whole same-day delivery thing?
Right. It's not just about getting a pizza delivered faster.
Exactly. Remember that example from the guide? The title company that needed those legal documents, like ASAP.
Yeah, they had to meet some crazy deadline.
Exactly. So who knows? Maybe same-day delivery will revolutionize grocery shopping, or like how we get medical care.
Or maybe something we haven't even thought of yet.
Right. The possibilities are kind of mind-blowing. It's an exciting time to be, alive and in Massachusetts, I guess.
It really is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, we've talked about why same-day delivery is booming here in Massachusetts, how to figure out what you need, how to find the right company for the job, and even how to save some money.
And we talked about sustainability, too.
Oh, yeah, that's important. We tried to give you everything you need to, navigate this whole world of same-day delivery.
It's a fast-moving world, that's for sure.
It is. But hey, knowledge is power, right? Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to dig deep into the stuff that interests you. That's all the time we have for today. But hopefully this deep dive gave you a lot to think about.